right, welcome back to Kitchen Table Wargaming. Today we are bringing the Grey Knights, the Sons of Titan, against the Blood Angels. We're cheating. He's not actually the Warlord. You'll see that in a second. But the Warlord is borrowed for the Blood Angels. He's adopted for the day, and they're doing drills. So we're not killing each other, because that'd be rude. We're just pretend killing each other. So we're going to be playing 2,000 points. It's going to be the Blood Angels. It's going to be the Grey Knights. And it's going to be loads and loads of fun. And we'll be back to show you the armies and then carry on with the rest of the game shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the Blood Angels army. This is going to be run by my friend Jared today. This is going to be a wild little game. We're going to, instead of the Drukhari, we're going to take Grey Knights. So you'll see the Grey Knights list in a second. But we're going to go through and talk about what's here in this Blood Angels list. And I'm excited because there's some units I haven't played against in this list. So it's going to be pretty fun. We're going to start by pointing out the one guy that's the wrong color. He's on loan. He came over to do some drills with the Blood Angels today. So, you know, it's all Imperium and Imperium. So we're doing drills. We're using paintballs. We're not really killing people. I don't know. The psychic stuff might be hard, but that's okay. So he's over here leading drills. He's the Warlord for today. He's the captain.
Yeah, he's primarily as captain with, he's WYSIWYG.
Cool.
He's got the relic shield and the mastercrafted power sword.
Excellent. And we all know Mephiston here. And does he have any special tricks for today?
He's got a couple, but essentially for this list, he's just a missile.
Mm-hmm.
So he's running Wings Sanguinius, Quickening, and Show of Sanguinius.
Excellent. And I will deny all of those.
Probably.
I wish. This dude, we know him, we love him. He's the wannabe apothecary, or he's better than the apothecary. I don't know. It's kind of, it's debatable. He goes a little faster, a little quicker. The Judiciaire.
Judiciaire, yes, sir.
And, does he have any relic traits?
He's got the Teeth of Terra.
He's,
and then, I'm sorry, I apologize. I misinformed you there. He's actually got the Icon of the Angel.
No, you lied.
So
it's
that's
over.
The one that, right? That's the one with the reroll charges.
Oh, yes, yeah. Grey Knights wish we had that too. I guess we do, sort of. Yes. This is just a squad of 4, right? It's not 2 splits or anything. So 4 Blade Guard. Got an Impulsor. Haven't played with one of these or against one of these. Look at this. We got suppressors. I have not ever played against them. I've seen them a few times, so I'm excited to see. And he's already said that they will become a whirlwind. They're in the chop shop still. I'm trying to get enough suppressor bits to make a whirlwind, but that's what it'll become later. That sounds pretty grimdark. Know what these are? Good old Eradicators. Mm-hmm. Death Company. So he's running 2 Thunderhammers in there, and then 6 of these guys have the chain swords, right?
Correct. Yeah,
they do.
They kind of look like they have big hands.
I was gonna say a couple of them I just realized had larger fists, but we don't care. Attack. They're not attack bikes. What are they called?
Outriders.
Outriders. I've been playing against attack bikes too much recently. Can you tell? So there's Outriders. 2 squads of Assault Intercessors. Yes. And look at that. 2 squads of Sanguinary Guard. Tasty. These guys on the left all appear to have the swords. Looks like the sergeant guy. Yeah, 2 of them have axes. And then over here, it's the same thing. When I was looking at a distance, I thought one was like all kitted out with axes and one was all swords. But I see now I was mistaken. But there you go. So, much to my delight, Jared's running 2 patrols and an auxiliary, which is fabulous for me because I don't know what the number is, but that means he has very few command points. 7. Well, that's more than I hoped. I hoped you'd have like 3. That was going to make my day. So there you go. Those are the Blood Angels, and we'll be back in just a second to talk about the Grey Knights. All right, ladies and gents, here is the Grey Knights that I'm running today. Haven't used the Grey Knights in a while because I'm addicted to Drukhari, can't lie. But poor Jared has played them 3 times in a row, and he heard I had Grey Knights, and he thought, let's have some fun. And I was telling him at the end of 8th, this was an interesting matchup because Blood Angels and Grey Knights, they both like the melee quite a lot. It'll be different. It'll be a little bit more of an uphill battle for me than Jared, but it should be a lot of fun. So here's what I have. I've got 8 paladins over here. 2 of them have a psi cannon. I have 10 paladins. 4 of them have silencers. By the way, they have Astral Aim. They have Hammerhand. This is a 5-man interceptor squad. They have Vortex of Doom. There is a silencer in there amongst them. And then I'm running a battalion. Yes, we're having a good time laughing. Tabletop tactics are dirt fun. It's a battalion. I've got 5-man strike squads, 3 of them. Each of them does have a silencer. So the Shooty Tide, I will get some benefit for some weapons. And then I've got my host of characters. We'll start with this one. Paladin Ancient with a silencer. He is the warlord. He has the reroll charges, so first to the fray. He has the Agorium Scrolls, so exploding sixes and melee. Really, I didn't think it was as good as it was, and then I read and heard some things about it, and it's amazing. And he has Sanctuary. Then I've got the Smashicary. Love these guys. He actually has the Ethereal Manipulation spell, so rerolling everything in half range for shooting. And then he'll try to heal people because he's not cool like other Space Marine apothecaries. Then you got the Brother Captain. He is the generic one, not a named one, so he has the hammer as well. He has Gate of Infinity, and that's it. He just buffs people's smite range, and that's all he gets to do. Because he's also not cool like other Space Marine captains. Yes, there's no bitterness at all.
No.
Not at all. Then we got Voldus. Voldus is cool. He's going to have the -1 to wound spell. He's going to have reroll everything in half range spell. And his third spell is the... blipped. Oh, it's the move and shoot in the psychic phase. So I'm keeping him with that. And then the good old Librarian, he has the Kami Melta, and he will have the Sanctic Shard, so rerolling failed psychic tests, and he has the CP regen spell, and changing the warps. That's what he does, the tides of the warps. So there we are. It is exactly 2,000 points. I told Jared I really wanted to run the Dread Knight and do a Terminator heavy list, but the Terminators aren't quite as cool against Space Marines as they are against some armies. So I'm going with a really squishy battalion, filling out bodies of Strike Marines over here, and then still taking a couple of good sized hammers and some characters. And we'll see if I can play it right and we roll up a good mission for me. It'll be a lot of a fun game. And if we roll up a really bad mission for me, it'll be a really quick game. But it'll be fun either way. So that's the armies, and we will be back soon with the deployment and the map, and lots of fun shall follow. Well, folks, we have rolled up. Oh, if you know the deployment zones, you recognize these silly objective markers in the middle. This is vital intelligence. I'm both happy and sad. I don't know. I brought an army for the Grey Knights that has a few more bodies to hold stuff, but at the same time, if we spread out to hold things, we might die. So I don't really know what to think about it. But it's going to be cool. We have deployment zone wise over here. We got some assault intercessors on this end. We've got some outriders. We got suppressing fire back here hiding. We treat this as though it is a solid block of concrete and you can't go through it, so ignore that being hollow. Over here, this bad boy has these bad boys inside. So we've got a Judiciaire, Mephiston, and some Blade Guard all inside the Impulsor. Mr. Capitan is sitting over here, more assault intercessors, and the Death Company, and I was very disappointed when he set them down, pulled out his tape measure and said, yeah, it's like an auto charge into them. Like, that's goofy. It's great. It is really actually pretty cool with them, what they can do. And we'll see if it works out. It's one of those, it's fun to do kind of tricks. Over here, I've got my interceptors sitting here. I've got a big old chunk of 10 paladins right out here in the front because I actually got to deploy the last unit last and I saved them for last. So they're going to meet this Death Company with hugs and sharp pointy things. Strike Marines over here. I've got Voldus, Captain, to give bubbles to as much as I can right here. I've got a little 5-man strike squad that's spread out. The Librarian back there, and then my 8-man Paladin Bomb is inside the building. For me, I have in Deep Strike the Ancient, the Apothecary, and a Strike Squad. And for Jared, he has the, what's he called, the Sanguinar?
Sanguinary Guard.
Sanguinary Guard, well, yeah.
Guard. Unit of...
Eradicators in Strategic Reserve. What's the character? He's this...
Sanguinary Priest.
Sanguinary Priest. I always try to call him the Sanguinar, and I know that's wrong. So I sort of caught myself. So that's
not
that.
That holy.
Yeah. He's not that guy. So we are now ready to roll off. We've shown you the battlefield as we've gone through. Objective-wise, we're both taking Assassinate, both taking Engage on all the fronts. I'm going to try Mental Interrogation, see if I can do this correctly this game. And Jared's going for some Deploying Scramblers. So we shall see how this all pans out. Go ahead, sir. Oh, he rolled a mighty 1. Can I meet or beat that? Oh, it's a 5. Even with the Drukhari die, I still win the first turn. Excellent. So we'll be back at the end of Grey Knight's turn 1. Ha ha. I'm very happy about this all of a sudden. Well, folks, the Grey Knight's turn 1 is now over. We did the best we could with shenanigans. So Voldus was up here to be able to buff up the Paladin squad over there. And then he used his Edict Imperator to run back here, so he's a little bit less targetable. And then, of course, when I moved those guys and advanced them onto that objective over there, it did occur to me that I now leave this big pocket here. So they might be targetable after all. Whatever. It's still turn 1, so I have a chance to rectify my mistake there, potentially. These guys, they got all the buffs. So we put on Astral Aim, we used Armored Resilience, we got Ethereal Manipulation, we got Hammerhand. It's all there, and then they didn't make a charge. But that's okay. That's not really the point. These guys gave them Astral Aim because they're not in range even if they moved to shoot anything. So we just threw it on them, and it was actually pretty effective. I enjoyed this. They've jumped up here with Gate of Infinity, spent the 1 command point for Fury of the Proven, and then he used his, what are they called? Launcher things, whatever?
Yeah, the assault launchers.
Assault launchers to make it -1 to hit the impulsor again. So I was back to hitting on 4s with Ethereal Manipulation, rerolling everything. I only missed twice. It was dirty. It was disgusting. But look, the thing's still alive because it has 1 wound. It was that close. In the end, it was only 3 silencer shots that got through. And I'm also in the Tide of Convergence, so it was the D3 plus 1 damage. So I was that close. Did exactly 10 wounds and needed 1 more. Oh, well. All the Stormbolter shots. I shot into the Death Company back there because I have the Astral Aim, so I was able to shoot at them. And I killed 4.5. But, I don't know. It was kind of wild. They were hitting hot, super hot. And then he rolled, 2 guys died outright, and then he rolled a 6. And then he rolled 2 6s, and then he rolled another 6. So it was powerful because those Stormbolters being too flat had a chance to really do some work. And he rolled some great Philippines. The Interceptors used their teleport, jumped up here onto this objective. So I'm actually sitting on 4 objectives and engaged in 3 fronts, which helps. However, I was only able to kill 2 of these dudes. They're not failing morale there. And then, of course, he's got bikes back there. So it's not going to be hard for him to come back and kind of mess with these guys. If they stay alive, I'll be really thrilled. But this hopefully produces a bit of a problem for him. And then, if we can spread out a little more on my end before his second wave comes through, then I'll have a better chance. But as it is right now, it's an interesting game. So we'll be back with the Blood Angels turn 1 in just a second. Well, folks, Blood Angels turn 1 is done. This is a great game. That's all I got to say about that. My little interceptors, they died, but nobody is surprised by this. So now he owns this objective. By the way, we were discussing it and wanted to make sure y'all are aware. In Vital Intelligence, you hold the objective until your opponent takes it away from you. So you can walk off of it and still hold it. So if they had managed to fail their charge, or if I could have just died, which I didn't think about till afterwards, I didn't reroll or do anything to keep them alive, but if they could have just died, then he wouldn't have been able to get on the objective, and I would have still held it until he moved on to it, which sounds horrible, but it is what it is. So they came in and mulched my little one last interceptor who was still alive. This here, though, this was magnificent, glorious horribleness. All of these black skulls are my guys. We didn't even put the ones down for his dudes. So Blade Guard, make a big, nice charge. They come around to this side, so they're standing on the objective with two guys. 2 guys were towed in on the objective and in range to hit. Judiciary comes in over here. The Death Company comes in here. These dudes, the Assault Intercessors, they come in over on this side. All right, so I spend my 2 command points for Masters of Combat. So when my dudes die, they hit back. They were fight lasted. They also, because Judiciaries have a cool gun, and I think it's a relic. Oh, okay, no wonder. I was going to say, more people need to use that. The Quake Bolts was massively huge because I would have overwatched whatever he charged first, and I still had my reroll all failed hits in half, which lasts for a whole turn until the psychic phase. So I would have mulched something in the Overwatch phase. The
suppressors are what stopped.
Oh, that's right. The suppressors did. Sorry, and only one of them hit. Yeah, only one hit. Corbin, can you
out of 6 shots?
Wait for 1 second. I said, can you pause for 1 second? Yeah, 1 out of 6 hits. So anyways, they shut down my Overwatch. I was very disappointed. Then they got fight lasted because of Judiciary. Crazy, crazy stuff. So anyways, after everybody dies, we do our piling in, consolidating, all this good times. My 4 dudes on this side, 3 guys on this side, killed the Blade Guard. I was blown away. I rolled really good on my D3 damages. So the Blade Guard were dead, so it left me holding the objective, and I lost 8 from his combat. So these last 2 guys were actually still alive. Then we killed the Judiciary. My 3 guys hitting the Death Company killed 3. Right? Is that how that
3,
was?
yes.
It was 3 in total, so we had 1 left. We didn't even bother to attack these guys because I'm more scared of jump packs and their shenanigans. So then all of these guys were removed. Then I failed morale, but because I was still alive after his guys were dead, I still hold the objective. Such a craziness. It is bonkers. So my 535 points killed roughly 535 points in combat. It was a little less on the Blood Angel side, but it was close. But this Masters of Combat stratagem is just insanely good. And Armored Resilience helped. Hammerhand was huge because I would have not killed half of what I killed without Hammerhand. So it was really crazy. Crazy. Then another fun thing, Mephiston. He's over here in a building, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Mephiston, he got quickened, so he had an extra 2 attacks. He then cast the, Wings Synchronous? Yeah, so he cast that. I didn't deny either of them, unfortunately. So he uses wings, he jumps over here. We had a clever strategy moment. Jared was going to put him down here because his full movement would have had him like right around here. Would have been like a 4-inch charge into my dudes. You see, he failed. It would have been twice because he got to reroll it. It would have been here. And then I reminded Jared, if he just sits in the corner on top of that little objective, then he holds it. He charges into me, kills me. He would hold both objectives. So as it is, he sat there and he held the objective, and then he failed to charge twice. He did shoot me with his plasma pistol, and I killed the 1 guy that was closest to him, which changed his charge from a successful 5-inch charge to a failed 5-inch charge, which he managed to do it 2 times. It was very kind of him. So, absolutely crazy little bit of a game here. So yeah, I don't even now can pick up all these cards because there's nothing left. But that was the end of turn 1. That's battle round 1 in the books, and we've killed half our armies, it feels like. I know we both have some stuff in Deep Strike. He has a lot of stuff in Deep Strike, whereas I just have a little bit. But absolutely crazy. So at the end of battle round 1, I've done a Grey Knight special. 0 command points, because that's just how we roll. It's so sad. Jared's also down to 2, and I can potentially get 2 in my next turn because of my librarian, but it's I don't think I wasted any command points in this particular. Sometimes I'll use the command points and feel like it was a horrible waste of expended CPs, but I think everything did what it needed to do this time around, and we both got a whole 2 points for engage on all fronts. That was our scoring. So turn round. No,
you got 2 more for character.
I killed a character! Haha, the Judiciary, I'm so proud of me. Oh, it's no longer a tied game, sir.
It's not.
Oh,
it's not.
The Grey Knights are now winning. We're gonna mark it down because with all his speedy sanguinary dudes, it might not happen again. So it's now 5-2. Woo! And we'll be back in a minute with Grey Knights turn 2. This is a great game. This has already been a spectacular. This mashup in the middle was.
Oh, it's precious.
If there was not this stratagem, I wouldn't have ever done it. But knowing that I had that in my pocket and then praying that it worked. Oh, I did spend one of my other command points was for Fury of the Proven for these guys. So they were hitting on 2s with everything except the 1 guy with a hammer. And that helped a bit as well. And I feel like I did spend a command point on one other thing. Oh, it was a D3 damage that would have not killed one of the Blade Guard. He would have had a wound left, so I rerolled that. And that was so it was another 4 command points spent just in the combat phase. 6. No, it was 4. 2 for that, and then 2 for those extra things. But yeah, just bananas. So much fun. We'll be back. Grey Knight's turn 2 in just a minute. All right, Grey Knight's turn 2 is done. A lot of thinking, actually, to decide what I could possibly do. Deep struck in the Ancient Tier of the Warlord, so rerolling failed charges. Didn't matter. These peanuts rolled 5 twice, I think. So the goal was to multi-charge over here, so 9 inches away from everything, and then tie up that little bit and get rid of it. Also worth noting, I didn't shoot at them because I didn't want to ruin my charge. I did, however, put shots into him, and he's still not dead. Like this guy took 16 Stormbolter shots, and I didn't kill him. I was kind of disappointed. And 6 from the silencer from my Warlord also went into him and still didn't kill him. So that's spectacular. I did use half of that squad to shoot up and get rid of suppressors. So the suppressors are gone. I spent my 1 command point for the, I don't even remember what it's called, but the 3 inches away from your enemy deep strike. Can't charge, but you can shoot and you can psychic. And they did smote the impulsor and it did die. It did not actually explode. I was actually really nervous because I remembered that it does explode and I was like, man, they're going to kill my strike squad and it's going to be sad. But they survived. So that's that. We didn't try to bother with the warlord over there because we kind of needed to focus on suppressors and impulsors. Back here in this corner, Mr. Apothecary, he came down. He is about 17.5 inches away from this character, and he is just outside of 12 inches away from Mephiston, who is still alive. And so he did mental interrogation, and I got my 3 points for that because Mephiston was busy trying to fend off smites, and it didn't work. He took all the smites, and I was happy with that. Oh, he did stop astral aim, actually, so...
Yeah.
And I tried, I cast it partly to try to draw out his deny, which it did, and partly because I thought it would give me more range to shoot, and it wouldn't have mattered, because where I ended up putting the paladins didn't change anything. Silly me. I moved these strike squad forward. The intent is to try to screen a little bit out, so he can't just bring the sanguinary guard onto my point, because I was kind of leaving it open where he could charge around and just sit on that. As it is, they'll probably charge anyways, and it won't matter, but I tried. They did have range to smite, because El Capitan boosted that range. So we did get some smites from this squad. This squad back here also did a smite. They also showed Mephiston how to charge and rolled a 9. So we took the objective away and we did all but 1 wound. Ooh. He took like...
No, he took it, but he didn't
Well,
save
that's right, yeah. He took like 3, I think, in shooting, 2 in psychic. It was down to the 1. And he saved everything but 1. 1 D3 damage went through and it did 2. Left him on 1 wound. I was so sad. So sad. It's okay. And my silencer hit him twice and actually got a wound through, but he saved that, of course, because there's nothing on that. Anywho, so Mephiston's still there. Those strike boys are still there. All this stuff in the middle is just kind of chilling, but now at least he has to think about where he wants to move them. And of course, he's got super fast Sanguinary Guard coming down, and that's going to be a problem for me. That's what I've been kind of worried about, because I didn't bring Terminators other than my Paladins. And I have characters, but I don't think I have enough to deal with the number of Sanguinary Guard he has coming. So we'll find out after this turn. This could be a very deciding turn. Turn 2 for the Blood Angels. We'll be right next. Okay, folks. Blood Angels turn 2 is over. It has been spicy, as predicted. Sanguinary Guard came in on this side. He actually had space to put everybody pretty much where the dice bag is. Over here, shot and killed all my strike squad, then made the charge and killed Voldus, and I spent my 1 command point. It's one of the only Grey Knight's good tricks to have Voldus fight again, and he killed like 2 Sanguinary Guard. I was kind of sad. My captain heroically intervened into the Sanguinary Priest. He is this nice model back there in the corner, and he did 1 wound. It was bad. Like, he hit with everything, and they rolled 4 1s, and then you shrugged one of them. Yeah, it's a 3 damage weapon, but it was only 1 wound, you shrugged one of those. I was so sad. Kind of a similar story over here. Like, their D3 weapons failed me in this combat, so I killed like 2 of these guys. No,
2 of them.
No, there are 2 missing. Yeah, I was like, what? Why? Anyways, that's what happens with D3 weapons. This was comical though. Woo-hoo! Mr. Death Company smacked Mr. Ancient, and Ancient smacked him back. So I took 3 from him. It's a 2 damage weapon, isn't it?
3 damage.
It is 3 damage, yeah, so that's right. So I took 3 wounds from him, he took 1 wound from me. Because, Ancient doesn't actually have a weapon for melee right now, because I gave him a big gun, which I'm regretting. I don't know, it is what it is. It's pretty funny. These guys are holding the objective down, chilling in the crater. Over here, poor guys. Mr. Eradicators, they stomped over. The captain actually killed a couple, and if I had Nemesis saves on those guys, and I just rolled regular 6-up saves. I rolled 3 5s, and I would have actually saved 4 out of those 5 hits that first round of combat, but instead I forgot what I was doing, and I rolled the regular saves and killed all of them, and then the last 2 guys just died. That was kind of embarrassing. That's what happens when you forget what you're doing. So there could have been a different story over there, but there's not. Then Mephiston.
Story of the day.
Makes me cry. So my guys get to hit first, right? Because it's 9th edition. Yeah. That's all I got to say about that. Moving on. And Mephiston turned around and just killed him. It was like instant death, and that was great. And the Eradicators are really good at killing an Apothecary with a 5-up pinball. That's all I gotta say about that. It shouldn't really be a surprise. He got 3 points, mental interrogation, then died. They just needed one wound. One wound on him. It would have been done. But no. And so it's kind of what I expected, to be perfectly honest, that the Sanguinary Guard coming in was going to be a bit of a boost, and it was going to cause me some pain, and it has. So we'll see. This cluster over here, I mean, if we can keep it tied up a little bit longer, great. If not, then, he's going to run all over the board and score everything. So at the end of turn 2, it is interestingly close. I'm actually technically in the lead because I scored primary, and I had shut down his primary because you have to hold 2 to get 5, which kind of wild. So I didn't even realize I did that at the end of the last turn, so that was good for me. So going into battle round 3, here's where we sit. None of us have command points, and I don't think I'm going to get primary this turn. He's going to have loads of primary because I don't have that many units left. It's going to be a lot of fun, folks. Buckle up. We'll be back in just a second with Grey Knights, turn 3. The end of the Grey Knights, turn 3. It's just a sad day, but it is kind of expected at this point. The triumphant moment here, smote the Death Company. He died. Finally, that little bugger hung around forever. But then so did my Ancient, because the Assault Intercessors gave mean, pointy hugs. So he's dead, but he only just barely died. I was kind of proud of him. He hung around a bit. I lost one more Paladin to the Sanguinary Guard, and then the Sanguinary Guard lost a unit, no, 2. I did a smite into them and killed one, and then I'd got 1 damage through with a D3 weapon that killed one for the first time, I think, so far in this game, but a D3 weapon killed him. Over here, I shenaniganized. We've had many debates as to whether this was useful or not, but my brother captain, he Gate of Infinity'd away. Woohoo! Came down over here, 9 inches away. Came in here, and rocking and rolling. Oh, he tried to smite.
Mm-hmm.
You denied it. Yeah, that's right. I didn't think it failed, but he denied it. And Mephiston had the 1 wound left, and so I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that because then I can, actually charge. But I haven't made a single 9-inch charge this whole game until now. And I did not even shoot his Stormbolter because I felt like I needed everything I could to get on the objective. So he made his charge, rolled a 9. I was so proud. It was the best thing ever. And what did he do? He rolled all his hits. All of them hit. 4 1s to wound. Only 1 went through, and Mephiston finally failed to save and died. But it was like that kind of close. Like, I'm really worried about him. This captain needs a refresh. Maybe I need to paint something. I don't know. That's 2 times of combat now. Yeah, he needs something. He's got 2 rounds of combat where he had all his hits and rolled 4 1s to wound. But that time it mattered. So then the other thing I did was my librarian had just walked around over here and then shot his Melta into the Sanguinary Priest.
Yep.
Killed him, huzzah, but I had to use a command point because the damage was only 1. Mm-hmm. He rolled a 1, which would have been, +2? So it would have been 3, but he'd only taken 1, maybe 2 wounds earlier in combat. He took 2.
I think he has 2 wounds left, but the odds were that.
Yeah, but he had his 5-ups or 6-up shrugs, so I was like, nope. So we re-rolled it into a 6, so it was 8 wounds, and I killed him. Ha! Assassinate points. Then I figured the librarian's about to die anyway, so I charged him back into these guys, just hoping maybe he'd get some lucky swings in, and he didn't. And he died. That was the end of his story. So that's it. So, at this point in the game, I've got a captain, I've got 2 paladins, one of them has 1 wound. Woo! It's very tense. I don't think that the Blood Angels are going to pull it out. Just kidding. We'll let him finish off the game because it's more fun to play it all the way out, and we don't have the time crunch. So we're going to finish it, and then we'll have some good laughs. There have been some really good highlights, and then there's been a lot of the Grey Knights are in such a bad spot. So it's been fun so far. So we have decided he already has 15 for primary because that's not really a thought at this point. He owns most of the game and the board, and then he'll do his movement and come back in just a moment. So we'll show you the end of turn 3 for the Blood Angels. End of battle round 3 and turn 3. These guys decided they would flap their wings over just in case he forgot to die. When those guys unloaded their multi-melt, I almost feel bad for them because both times they shot at something, only one guy got to do the shooting.
Yep, multi-melt.
And killed everything just by himself. So he's got 2 guys there that they haven't done anything. Like, they're probably getting kind of salty right about now. But they shot, and actually only one went through, but he managed to roll a 5, and that's enough. So Captain died. But look, see this? This means it's still my objective because they couldn't charge. So I get 5 points at the start of the next turn, which is really funny. We've had a good laugh. There's been some fun times in this game. Over here, I did make him do it because I'm like that. They charged in. They came around and charged in. I think like the lowest charge you rolled this turn was like a 10, and you were 3 inches away from everything.
Yeah.
Whereas I only got 1 9-inch charge, and I tried really hard to get that. So it's been a good time. So no shooting happened over here. These guys killed off like 3 wounds worth. The one hurt guy and then hurt the next guy. Then this is a confusing thing to me. I don't understand. They had more attacks than they did. They're on a they need to hold on to the handlebars and they got more attacks. I don't get that. It's a weird thing. Anyways, it's been loads of fun. So we didn't actually finish adding up the score yet, but obviously he's going to score 15, 15, and 15. He will indeed deploy his scramblers, who remember to do it this turn. They started, and he happens to have 2 turns left. So then assuming those guys are going to do it in the next turn, and these guys are going to scoot back into my deployment zone now that there's... These guys are going to shuffle over because they're only like 2 inches away. So, yeah, easy peasy. And then, he takes down all of my last 2 objectives because he's cool like that. That one squad can reclaim both of those by just stringing out just a tad. And then it's a super solid game. So, it's been a pretty fun game. Grey Knights they're a load of fun. I enjoy them thoroughly, but they just don't... They don't handle Blood Angels well at all. And so I was excited about this matchup because I hadn't played Grey Knights in a while. And I thought, they got some melee, they've got some cool tricks, and it'll be a fun back and forth kind of game. And it was. Turn 1, turn 2 were pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And then the end of turn 2 was like, wow, everything has died. I made some really horrendous dice rolls in my turn 2 saving in the combat phase. It didn't help anything. But whatever. It was a lot of fun. So, Jared, sir, have you decided who your MVP is for the game for you?
It's got to be Mephiston.
Mephiston.
He survived everything you should not have survived.
He did. He scored, engage on all fronts twice, I think.
Yep. He survived through shooting and melee and psychic.
He should have died.
Made some really good, 5-up, feel no pains.
Yeah, and then my captain came in and his 1 singular wound. I can't believe he rolled that bad. But Captain might not be my MVP for this game. I don't know. No, he was cool. We were debating between the captain and the 1 lone death company dude because he was kind of funny. It became more of a joke that guy wouldn't die than anything. But Mephiston was definitely a champ. And it's fun because I like the way you played Mephiston in this game. Throwing him out there and using him instead of keeping him in the back, I think probably should be how he gets used more often.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was really good. I don't know. It was probably the strike squad that was tangling with Mephiston. They couldn't hit or kill him, but they hung around for like a really long time. I was kind of surprised. They got me that objective in the corner, came up, took that objective from Mephiston. I don't know. They should have probably died a lot sooner than they did. So maybe it was those guys. Maybe it was my captain because he killed Mephiston. Or maybe it was the 10-man bomb up here that cleaned out a bunch and I thought might have given me an edge, but they all died and then 2 of them ran away. I don't know. Lots of fun. Definitely enjoyed the game. Hope y'all enjoyed the game. Check out gamemat.eu for the terrain, the battle mat, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one. There is one coming up soon, actually, another battle report with the Drukari and Admech, which I think will be a very interesting matchup. Admech are getting a lot of talk right now for being a good counter. So, yes. But thank you, Jared. Blood Angels, been lots of fun. Grey Knights, dusted them off, had a blast. And I'm going to have to put them back in and get dusty again. We'll catch you later. Thank you very much for watching Kitchen Table Wargaming.